Ladies and gentlemen, we straight away will be getting into our next panel discussion now. This one is topic as Business of Diagnostics in India, Capital, Consolidation and Provider-Led Growth. So you see, as diagnostics is maturing in our country, the conversation is no longer limited to technology and testing alone. It also extends to capital deployment, consolidating strategies, sustainable pricing, scale, and long-term value creation as well. So today, as this diagnostics sector stands at a critical inflection point where private equity, strategic investment, and provider-led growth models are truly reshaping this competitive landscape. Our next panel will be talking about finance, operations, entrepreneurship, and execution. It will be offering a very realistic and a forward-looking view where the business of diagnostics is truly headed now. Now, so in this session, let me start by inviting Mr. Ariman Tandon, who's going to be acting as the moderator for this session. He's the co-founder and managing partner for Praxis Global Alliance. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being the moderator for this session. Let me also please invite on stage Mr. Jay Parekh, Group Senior Vice President, Customer Experience and Business Head, West and North for Neuberg Diagnostics. And if I can also please invite Mr. Puneet Sharma, Chief Operating Officer for Suburban Diagnostics, also to please join us on stage for this session. So, Mr. Tandon, whenever you're ready, sir, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, thank you so much. Quick introduction about me. Ariman, close to about 20 years of consulting experience now. Started my career at Bain, got into healthcare in about 2010-11, and no looking back since then. Today I run a Asia-based management consulting firm, Praxis. Diagnostics is a very critical sector for us. Done multiple publications. Also have a short presentation after this, so I'll keep this. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have a very tight panel today. But a very critical one, I must say. The sector, diagnostics, is close to about 16 billion opportunity today. It's raising a lot of private equity capital, not just on the service delivery side, but also on a lot of enablers around IVD, equipment, services, logistics, technology. A lot of action is happening. We are very underpenetrated in terms of testing, and we're only scraping the surface in terms of what the true opportunity exists. I think a lot of facts have already been mentioned. Only about 75% of Indians don't even get tested. That's what we are talking about. So there's a huge opportunity for growth. India is a hotbed for all the private equity and venture capital firms in the world. And that's why this is one of the most lucrative sectors. Because it's fast growing, but also it's very profitable. So with this, I want to kick off this panel. I would let the panelists introduce themselves quickly, and then I'll jump into the questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Parekh, and I represent Neuberg Diagnostics as a head of customer experience for the group. And I also head the entire business development for the North and the West region of India. Total stint of more than 15 years in diagnostics, spent almost around 4 years with Agilus, which is formerly called SRL, and almost 11 to 10 years with Metropolis. Prior to which, I worked with Telecom, so that's a brief about myself.
Welcome, Jay.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Myself, Puneet Sharma. I'm with Suburban Diagnostics as a Chief Operating Officer from last 1.5 years. My parent organization is Dr. Lal Path Lab. They took over Suburban around 4 years back. My total experience into this industry is about 22 years. I joined this industry in 2004. And prior to this, I have worked for some pharmaceutical company. That's how I started my career.
Thank you. Thank you, Puneet. Puneet, since you just introduced, let me start with you. You've been at the forefront of M&A, capital consolidation, everything. My first question to you is, we're seeing a lot of, and the question is whether private equity capital is creating organic growth or inorganic growth, right? You're an example of an acquisition. From your perspective, can you talk about what are some of the synergies of doing M&A between a large chain to a regional chain? What have been some of the challenges? What are the levers of value creation, and how has that journey been, so far till now? And for future, what are some advices and recommendations you have, both for the buyer as well as the chain consolidating into a larger chain to make it truly successful?
Right. Thank you, Ariman. I think you rightly mentioned synergy is one part. I think that plays a very core to the business, because when you try to enter into new market, it is not always easy to establish your business out of your core market. Dr. Lal Pathway is known as a North India player, because they have started their operation from Delhi long time back in 1949. Of course, or maybe taking any decision for any sort of M&A or acquiring any business, I think value creation is something which you always look for. In diagnostic space, I think getting market share is very important. Entering into new market establishing, because it's a capex heavy, it is not that easy. It is not always doing routine investigation will help you. But yes, you don't get the volume for high-end investigations also. So you should have the hub and spoke model in place where you can consolidate, centralize your special investigation at one place, and you can do localized testing for routine investigation. So there are multiple ideas behind doing any sort of M&A. But yes, the value which you want, you have to identify what you are looking at. Are you looking to cater or bringing some footprints only, or you want to cater to the larger sort of, Mumbai is one of the market where you get the lot of specialized work. So you can't be a routine player here. Or maybe if you are planning to have M&A in Delhi or maybe in NCR, you are putting a normal satellite lab will not help you. So that is how it depends on what kind of value you want to create in that market. That is all I guess.
So you're saying network planning becomes a very critical part. Synergy, it could be a boon or a pain. What about some of the challenges? What about technology? What about org? What about brand? What about the doctor KOL relationships, etc.? What are some opportunities as well as challenges you see, driving M&A, in those areas?
So we understand this market is highly fragmented. I think infrastructure-wise, every city has a different set rules to play in that market. I think player like Dr. Lal Path Lab or Agilus or maybe Metropolis, who are actually highly organized in terms of they are highly compliant. Whenever they try and enter any market, I think they see if they are trying to enter into tier 3, tier 4 market, the major challenge for them is getting the right resource. Right resource means the trained manpower, the compliance part. If they are putting their own greenfield setup, it is not that big issue. But when you try to acquire any local player, I think that is the major concern. You don't find the right asset to collaborate. And maybe if you collaborate, then going forward, it takes a lot of time to shift their mindset towards quality, integration, upgradation, automation, because they are running on a different EBITDA margin. And when you try and put or enforce that they have to follow certain guidelines so definitely everything comes at cost. And nobody would like to hit their EBITDA margin. So that is the one thing which actually gives us the pain. The second part is the trained manpower resources. And the third part is the local rule of that market. Because the infrastructure, the network, the doctor, a client, everyone has their own ways of working. For organized player, it is really difficult to operate in. But yes, as the time goes by, I think we will be able to find out our own ways.
So interesting. So you're saying these three things could really make M&A work, or it could actually be if not done well, complete disaster as well. So you have to do these three things really right.
So we haven't seen any failure till now. I think any larger player, when enter in the market, they give I think, a lot of insight to the local player. If sometimes you feel that there is a failure, I don't think so there is a failure, because market get mature out of that. People see you as a leader and they try and copy you. But this doesn't happen overnight. It takes their own course of time.
Got it. Jay, let me move to you. I mean, Newberg has done a very interesting consolidation M&A story. You know, it's like creating a whole string of pearls across geographies, across specialities, right, with the whole genomics, etc. Appreciate it, of course. It's truly a fantastic story, but it's also very, surprising and overwhelming also, right, what you've done. It's very complex. We, of course, understand and appreciate the complexity. Putting this whole thing together, how has been your experience? What has been the thesis behind it, of course? I'd love to know a little bit about how you've thought about the thesis of putting this whole chain together, cross specialities, cross geographies. And one very specific question to you have is, from the org and the localization standpoint, because you've aggregated so many regional chains into a large sort of behemoth, how do you manage all the local nuances? Are you able to create a consistent Newberg experience, for everyone? Are you localized? Where is the trade-off? How do you maintain the fine balance? And not just for patient, but also the org, because you integrated multiple orgs, integrated multiple promoters and management teams also. How are you able to manage, and what's been some of your learnings there?
Thanks. I think so. You said it right. Newberg is a family of acquisitions. I think so. The founder of Newberg, Dr. G.S.K. Velu, is the master in acquisitions. Is when the Newberg was founded in 2018, and today, as we speak, we are one of the fastest growing diagnostic, or I would like to put it as integrated diagnostic setup in India and across the globe as well. Now, it's ideally a marriage of different organizations together, coming across with the best practices, like maybe a few great brands like Suprotech in Ahmedabad is a part of Newberg, coming with a lot of experience in genomics, coming with a lot of experience and brand advocacy in Gujarat territory. When you talk about Anand in Karnataka, a very strong brand name. So each of these strong brands come with their own best practices. And at a group level, once when you pick up the best practice and share with the other key focus or tier 2, tier 3 cities where they get exposure to all these experiences and practices, helps them to upgrade their services, expertise as well. Again, from an integration perspective, I would mention about a few brands like Star Imaging in Pune, or maybe Vijay Medical in Vizag, coming with a strong background in radiology. And we strongly believe that radiology and pathology goes hand in hand. So again, giving them an uplift in exposure of pathology and vice versa. Making ideally a one-stop shop for a patient is ideally the intent and a way forward for our organization. What we're doing to maintain consistency is ideally what patient needs is a good customer experience, reports in the committed time, and accuracy. So the technical team is led by very senior doctors who try and ensure that we follow the guidelines imparted by NABL. We ensure that the front-end team is quite trained and consistent across all, I would say, locations. We have a strong QMS systems. We have a strong LIS, which talks about efficiency, quality across the group. So yeah, these are the few things that helps us to sustain, grow horizontally and vertically both. So
you've created a big joint family, cross-cultural, across multiple states in India, which has never been seen before, right?
Yes. Yeah. As I mentioned, we are a family of all the top leaders across.
Yeah. And all different cultures, by the way.
Yes.
So, yeah, interesting. But one follow-up question to that, and you also done, let's say, one specialty, one state, another specialty, another state. And these have been very different, right, in nature of their capabilities. how well are you able to leverage, let's say, one specialty capability in some other states? That synergy, and I'm sure that must have been a big part of thesis, that it's not just geography, it's also specialties which you're acquiring, so that you can then bring in an integrated, experience. What has been the challenges, and also how well are those synergies playing out, in the business? Of course, you can choose to answer, whatever is comfortable.
So what's worked well is the key on communications, and specifically when it comes to, I would talk about reports accuracy, because when these, because that's what mainly the diagnostics or the clinicians depend upon. So how easy is it for a patient or for a doctor or a clinician to interpret the reports has been one of the key factors. Especially in genomics, we play a very important role. Conducting CMEs, creating more awareness, conducting RTMs, creating a platform of communication digitally for all the doctors across India has been a key success for us. And practices from key KOLs, like, for example, we have Dr. Jay Mehta, who's one of the leading key onco specialists in India after Dr. Borges. He coming on the forefront, sharing his experience, sharing his best practices has been a key differentiator to all other region doctors as well. So as I said again, QMS plays a very key important role technically as well as from an experience standpoint.
Puneet, if I move back to you, one last question to you. A lot has been spoken about tier 2, tier 3 cities and the growth that's been happening there. We've done a fair amount of work there. The growth is real, but the sustainability is a question mark still, because a lot of these smaller towns don't have the necessary scale. But the SLAs expected are still fairly similar if you're doing acute, especially some hospital testing, and even if there's some acute specialized testing, you have to move around samples, and then of course the volumes are low, so utilization, etc. How real is that growth, number one, and how sustainable is it? What is the sustainable way to, capture that growth?
Right, you rightly mentioned. So I think tier 3, tier 4 towns are actually the growth lever for a company like us. Reason being, the larger population is there. It's just a matter of time, because now the new generation who are coming into the medical field, maybe most of the time it is doctor. Government infrastructure is actually supporting us. A lot of initiative from government end is actually supporting us in terms of new medical colleges coming across all districts. So there are about 824, 825 districts today. I think this kind of initiative from government side, though it will not impact in maybe in recent time, maybe in next 3 to 4 years, but longer run, next down the line 15 years, if you see, the requirement which you are looking at today, it will be fulfilled, because what we have done in our ways of working, we are transferring talent from one city to another city, one town to another town. People are moving. I think people are seeing opportunity in this. A lot of new players, or like people like you, are investing in those kind of infrastructure where they are building real institutes in those cities. I think down the line, 5 to 10 years, we'll get sufficient manpower, trained manpower, infrastructure. Like Ajay Gupta, Puneet Gupta mentioned that electricity is not there in tier 3, tier 4 towns. I think things will improve. And once these get addressed, you can't even imagine the growth, because the 70% population of India is residing in those towns.
Got it. Thank you so much, Puneet. Jay, last question to you. You had customer experience. A lot of digitization has happened. Patient expectations have drastically changed. And we were doing this work recently, and we realized that about 40-50% of preventive packages are self-initiated by patients now. They want to come in on a digital platform, pick their package, do it themselves. It's not even prescribed by the GPs. It's alarming, right? A lot of testing conversations, what are your this levels, that levels, are part of social conversations now. I mean, especially for an informed audience, right? Wellness, etc. is growing. So the patient has really changed post-COVID. Home pickup is really scaled up. But, my view is that this is no more a home, it's an omni-channel experience. You have to think fully omni-channel. From your experience, like, what are some of the 3 or 4 big needle movers, in creating a fantastic patient experience? And how is it different from, let's say, a few years back?
I would say all thanks to COVID, where life has changed. I remember creating awareness on preventive care. The journey began, I would say, somewhere in the year of 2012, 13. I remember when me and one of the promoters of my previous stint were having a debate that I think we should go and try and educate patients on preventive care. And she's like, no, we should not do that because that's going to antagonize doctors. You can't go and sell medicines, or you can't go and sell tests in pathology. And I said, no, I come from a telecom background. I think we should. And that's where the journey began, where we started calling up patients who have not done an annual check for more than 6 months. And today, as we speak, customers or patients have become more health-centric. Again, thanks to COVID. Yes, what you correctly said, almost 40% of patients want to pick up a preventive health checkup profile because that covers the whole body at a very, I would say, competitive cost. From a patient, what they want is now they want things on a fingertip. So how simplify and easy you make for a customer to avail services is a game changer. From a patient either reaching up to you through an app or through a website or through a telecall, how convenient is it for a customer or a patient to evaluate what's the right blood test to be done for him or her, and then how soon can they get the reports, which gives you a previous history, maybe a trend, and some insights on what's there for future. Now, today we're talking about just preventive care that talks about an HbA1c, vitamin D3, B12, CBCs, and all these tests. Tomorrow, don't be surprised, we're going to talk about genomics. Today, as we speak, genomics is one of the key focus areas that every organization is focusing towards. And how is that being integrated with radiology is another key focus to get insights of what's in for you for future.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Jay, so much. We're also at the end of time, fortunately or unfortunately. Puneet, Jay, thank you so much for your valuable insights. We'll continue for the next session, and thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And Mr. Tandon, if you can please do the honors, we'd like to thank Mr. Jay. We'll extend our gratitude to Mr. Puneet. And if I could please invite Khushbu to please step up on stage to present a token of our gratitude to Mr. Tandon. So we'll have a group picture if you can stay with us. We just have one group picture as well. Thank you. If we could be together for a group picture as well now. Thank you. As I thank Mr. Jay and Mr. Puneet for joining us in.